When it comes to Stampy World content, there's definitely a few people that don't cut it short. One of them being Captain Rex Plays, a YouTuber who is doing up-to-date tutorials of the world, including the newer things such as the renovations to the house, and is currently working his way in the Funland. One of them being a good friend of mine and a good YouTuber, Drastic Sun, who became popular after showing off some Easter eggs or redstone chambers that are only seen a few times around Stampy's world. The third YouTuber is a longtime friend of mine, Amazing Ben07, who goes by Ben and Jack's Let's Play on YouTube, who is doing monthly downloads of his Stampy World recreation and is always updating it with new Easter eggs and things from his community's suggestions. And don't forget me, I've been building Stampy's World for 9 years, and the current situation I'll get into is quite pressing for someone like myself. And then, the person that started it all, not Stampy himself, but Darman68, a YouTuber who started building Stampy's World back in 2014 and is someone in that community I hold quite dear to my heart.
Well, okay. What are you getting at here, you might say? Well, all these YouTubers have one thing in common. They are all building in one way, shape or form their own replicas / versions of Stampy's lovely world. And that leads me on to the current situation. A few days ago, Stampy responded to a tweet that somebody in the Stampy community made asking about the ending of Lovely World, where Stampy said it probably won't be too long after episode 800 when we see an end to the series. But what about all the Lovely World recreations that I've mentioned so far and those YouTubers? What will happen if Stampy releases a download? Now, some people may say it's inevitable that he does so, as back in 2016 from this quote right here.
I also get asked a lot about just releasing my lovely world for a download anyway, and my answer to that is always, I will release it when it's finished. I don't want to release a work in progress, so I'm going to wait until I've finished building my lovely world, and then I will release it after that. Just because I want people to build it. You know, I want people to rather than just have my world, you know, to try and recreate it or just take mini games and just use their own world. You know, I always think that's a more fun way to do Minecraft.
This comment does seem to be slightly contradictory, and if you disagree, my apologies. The reason why I mention this is because Stampy is indeed confirming that there will be a world download for Lovely World once it is complete, but he's also saying that he would prefer people to build his world from scratch, focusing on the house, the minigames, and making it their own. And this is something that I agree with, as shocking as it may sound. Back in 2016, I would have liked to see a world download, as 2016 was an exciting time for Stampy's world. And with Stampy confirming there will be a download for his world once it's done, it takes away from what Lovely World is and should be. If you go back to any person that has been watching Stampy since at least 2013 era, there's 3 things that they will pick out that they liked about Stampy the most. The first thing being his personality. Stampy stands out for having a unique personality that no other YouTuber has been able to replicate. The second thing is his ideas. He always manages to come up with crafty and creative ideas that go well with his lovely world and his character style in Minecraft. The third thing, his world in general. He got at least a 1 in a trillion seed, and no other Minecraft seed comes close to the view he has on his balcony. And it just makes it exciting, energetic, and awesome, and that is what people's lovely world is trying to capture. However, if Stampy does indeed release a Lovely World download, it would have a huge effect overall on the Stampy community, as nobody would build a downloaded map and it wouldn't get any views on YouTube anymore. Let's take it back to when Stampy took that break from YouTube. He was still relevant as people were still building his world as there was a need to. That download would eliminate all need, as nobody would build a world that you can just grab from the marketplace or on a media file link or whatever he uploads it to. You see, people like Captain Rex and Ben and Jack's Let's Play and even Drastic Sun have spent countless hours building on their worlds with friends, making it their own, trying to get it as authentic as they can while still keeping the charm of it being their own world. And this would change, as with a download, there will be no need to build it anymore. There will be no reason, no purpose. Those YouTubers will become irrelevant. Could you imagine any of those YouTubers doing things other than Stampy? That's where their fan base is. That's what they built up over the last years to months. It simply wouldn't work. So yes, as I've just mentioned, everything in this situation is quite bleak. But to make things a bit more positive, let's ask this question. What if Stampy doesn't release a download for his world? What if he just says goodbye on the final episode and says he'd rather people just build it instead of have a download? Well, I would very much congratulate Stampy for making that decision, and maybe this video has impacted him somewhere. Now, the main thing would be is Stampy and the community would still stay relevant, as people would still be clicking on Stampy's videos to get views for things that they can update, and also it gives people a chance to catch up on old things such as Easter eggs and redstone chambers that have been quite popular to be building in the last few months. And also, without a download, it would mean that the Stampy legacy can be preserved and people can still have a reason to recreate it. People are still kind of on the sidelines of whether Stampy is going to release a download at all, because there have been worlds such as Skydan, which was on the 360, that he didn't release. Although there is one argument that people have been leaning to, and that is the fact that he didn't release a download for Quest. However, this isn't really viable, as at the time of Quest finishing, Stampy was on Xbox One Edition using the world on there, and Bedrock wasn't a thing at that point, so there'd be no way of transferring it to Bedrock to put it up for download. And also, chances are when Bedrock did come out, he either most likely forgot or thought it would be a little bit random just to release a download at that point, so kind of left it under the rug. However, Quest is still quite a popular series to this day. You have YouTubers such as Paradox, who have actually found the seed and who are making tutorials on it, and so has MVXEZZ, who has made some tutorials in the past on it. So there's proof that not making a download for the world, at least for the time being, could have a lot more pros than negatives. But in conclusion, Stampy has been a major part of my childhood, and for the last decade I've always said that I would, no matter what I was doing in life, find a way to come back to Stampy's world. Now that might sound really outlandish, and hear me out. I know a few people alongside me who have been building Stampy's world for 9 years now, and it's got to a point where he's not only just a part of our childhoods, but after 9 years, he's kind of a part of our lives. As crazy as it might sound, if Stampy does cut off Lovely World and make a download for it, that would ruin a lot of things, like I previously mentioned. And of course, I don't want to just come across like I'm speaking from my perspective, as everyone else has their own opinion, and I don't want myself to be the reason why other people's opinions get ruined. Dreams and hopes of building or having a download for it, that kind of feels like cheating. Stampy's world should stay as an imagination, as what other people envision it to be. People coming up with crazy minigame ideas, people coming up with their own town builds, kind of carrying on the legacy that Stampy's preserved. But I guess we'll have to figure out what happens on the big day of that final episode, and boy, I am not looking forward to that. If you gained anything at all from this video, please like and subscribe. This video took an awful long time to make, and I did have to rush towards the end because we're living on borrowed time at this point, and I'm trying to get a good point across about this whole situation. So I do thank you very much for viewing this video and clicking on it. If you've made it this far into the video, then you are a true legend to the Wolf community. And also, if we can get some attention onto this video and stop the quote-unquote inevitable from happening, I would much appreciate that. Have a good day, stay strong, and I'll catch you in the next one.